All right, today on Tuesday, August 11th, we're going to read a story called A Look at Families. And as we're reading this story, I want you to think about how families are the same and different, like we've been doing for the last week and a half now. So I have a PowerPoint called A Look at Families in case you've missed the lesson or you miss some of it and you want to go back and just look at it again, listening to me read it. You're more than welcome to do that. So it says, we're going to read these 2 pages, and then we're going to look in our workbook on page 20. And we're going to read the next 2 pages, and then look at our workbook on page 21. So, a look at families. Families around the world do some things the same. They have differences too. Let's take a look at how families in different cultures live. All families need homes. Some families live in large cities. They might live in tall apartment buildings. Many families live in the same building. Some families live near water. Some families live in houses on stilts. Stilts are tall poles. They keep the home safe from water. You can see we have some text features here. We have some photographs. Photograph is a real picture, not a drawn picture, but a real picture. And we have some captions. Captions tell us about the photographs. So these 2 photographs, it says apartment homes in the United States and Denmark. So these are apartment homes in Denmark and the United States. And down here we have a family homes in Chile. So we can see that this is a real picture of what that would look like. All families share food. Culture has a lot to do with what a family eats. Families may also eat food from other cultures. Some families in Korea eat rice and fish. Meals in Mexico often include rice and beans. Pasta is a common Italian meal. So once again, we have some pictures, real life event right here, not drawn. It's a photograph. And we have a caption. This photograph right here shows a Korean family sharing a meal. This photograph is a Mexican meal. I think I see some tamales up there. And down here, this is a pasta meal. Okay, so now we're going to go to our workbook. Let me get that going again. Sometimes it's funny. So it's plugged in as well. All right. There we go. So here we've read this page, and now it says reread the first paragraph. Underline 2 sentences about families around the world. What will you look at as the text continues? So it says, I'm going to read the first paragraph. So it says, families around the world do some things the same. They have differences too. Let's take a look at how families in different cultures live. So let's write 2 sentences about families around the world. So find 2 sentences where it talks about families around the world. And what's this next paragraph going to look like? Here's a hint. This last sentence told us. What's that next paragraph going to look like? I want you to underline 2 sentences and then write that in the blanks. Reread paragraph 2. Draw a box around what all families need. Circle details that tell about where some families live. So the first thing when I'm reading paragraph 2, I'm looking for in my head, what are some things all families need? All families need homes. Ooh, I heard that need word. All families need homes. Some families live in large cities. They might live in tall apartment buildings. Many families live in the same building. So now that you've read that, go back and find, what do all families need? What do all families need? And draw a box around that sentence. The next one says, circle details that tell about where some families live. All right, let's look at it. Let's read it again. Read for a different purpose. And this time we're reading it to find details that tell me about where some families live. All families need homes. Some families live in large cities. They might live in tall apartment buildings. Many families live in the same building. So you might want to circle some details about where some people live. We learned a lot about where some people live. And then I want you to talk about this with someone at your house. It says, talk with a partner about how people in large cities may live. Use the details in the text and a photograph to support your ideas. So use the details from the text and these pictures. You can see these pictures and be like, man, that's a lot. That's a lot. Use that to help you to answer that question. We'll go back to our story. All right. All families talk to each other. Different families speak different languages. Culture has a lot to do with how families talk to each other. In Japanese, a grandfather may be called Ojishan. You can see I have this phonetic pronouncing. I don't know how to say that word, so I look at the phonics over here. Ojishan. A grandmother may be Obashan. Once again, I might not know how to say this word, but this phonetic sounding helps me. Obashan. In South Africa, when families visit each other, they say Sawubona. 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 Okay, that's what they do when they visit each other. This means hello. And so instead of us saying hello, they say, so using the actual word hello, they say Sawubona. That's a really fun word to say. Sawubona. Hopefully I'm not saying it too awfully. All families celebrate together. In India, families celebrate the holiday Diwali. They light a row of lamps called Deepa. Once again, I might not know how to say this word, but I have this phonetic spelling here. Deepa. Outside their homes. In the United States, families celebrate Independence Day. They might watch fireworks or go to a parade. What are some things you celebrate with your family? Okay, and make this connection. How are families around the world the same and different? How do all families you have read about this week celebrate together? We learned a lot about different celebrations, birthday parties, dinner tables, and now we're learning about holidays. We've learned lots of different ways that we all celebrate alike and different. Okay, now we're going to go back to our workbook, and we're on page 21. Right here. All right. So it says reread the paragraph. Draw a box around the author's definitions of stilts. We learned about that already. The author's definition about stilts. Look for the stilts in the photograph. Okay. Some families live near water. Some families live in houses on stilts. Stilts are tall poles. They keep the home safe from water. So, what will be the definition of stilts? There's one sentence in there that gives me the definition of stilts. I want you to put a box around that. And if you go down to the photograph, you can see those stilts. Those are those wooden poles. Those wooden poles right there. Those are called stilts. So it says, why do some families live in houses on stilts? Why would that be necessary? Why do you think some people would need to have houses that lived on poles? What do you think? It says, underline the text evidence and write your answer here. So first what I want you to do is, why do some families live in houses on stilts? Okay, go back to the story, write your answer down, and then underline the sentence that helped you find that answer. Underline the sentence that helped you find that answer. All right, and that is going to be our reading lesson for Tuesday, August 11th. Hope y'all enjoyed that story. I liked it a lot. Get back to my meat.